Hi there, welcome back to Mastering the Young Band. Today's episode, I'm going to talk to you about a trick that I used with my beginner horns to help them hold their right hand position correctly. You've probably seen in my other beginner video. If you haven't seen it yet, you want to watch that in my beginner horn embouchure. I teach how I start the horn embouchure as well as horn position. Just a quick review, I do start my beginners with their right hand not in the bell at all. Rather, it's just resting underneath the horn. And especially if you have younger kids with a little bit of a shorter torso, this is a great way of elevating their horn up a little bit because their hand supports the bell on their knee. Now, if a student is a little bit taller and that raises it up too much, then I'll just have them put their hand off to the side like that. Now, if you've taught young band for any period of time, you will know that getting your beginner horn players to get their right hand position correct is challenging. Students either forget or they get lazy to get their hand position in there, and that can change their intonation by as much as 15 cents depending on how far in they're going or how far out they're playing. If they have something tangible, something that they can touch or hold on to, that's going to help remind them to get that hand position in correctly in the bell. So something that I learned is to get a 6-inch piece of tape like this. I use color tape. I just borrowed this from my PE teachers. This is this tape here that they use on the gym floor to mark off just different things they're doing, activities on their gym floor. And what's good about this tape is it pulls up cleanly and it doesn't leave a residue. So if you have a good relationship with your PE teacher, ask them for a roll of this. If not, this is just Gopher brand tape, but in the past I've also gotten it at hardware stores, gotten the 3M tape that is just sticky enough. So what you do is you get a 6-inch piece of tape, and what you do is you pinch the middle of it like that. So you've created this shape here. And then what you do in your bell, and I'll go ahead and show you this, is you place it in the bell like that for your students to hold on to, that is, between their thumb and their first finger. So the kids are gonna pinch that dangling piece of tape there. So I can get that so you can see it a little bit better. And so what I do is I cut out these 6-inch pieces of tape and I place them into the bell for the kids. That way I can make sure it's placed correctly. And then what the kids do, this gives them something to grab onto each time they put their hand in the bell. So watch this. So when I grab that tape, I'm squeezing it between that thumb and the first finger. I can just squeeze it. And then when I go to playing position, the only thing you really have to remind the kids of is to not let their elbow drop when they're playing. You just have to remind them elbows. And what's good, you can tell the entire band, you can just go elbows, and the entire band has something to do with their elbows, whether it's the trumpets, whether it's the flute players, that kind of thing. So you just remind them elbow. Sometimes they'll even just look at the horns and I'll just do this to remind them. Okay, so at least I get a little bit better of a shot there. I'm holding onto the tape between my thumb and first finger. And when I get my elbow away from the body, you can see there, it's like a perfect hand position. I'm inside the bell just enough. My knuckles are at the flare of the bell. That's what you want with beginners. Okay, so when you're placing that tape, now I know it's a little bit tricky. You might have kids with shorter hands and longer hands. If anything, pull the tape back a little bit more than your hand. But for me, that's perfect. My knuckles are at the flare of the bell. My elbow away from the body. That's gonna really be a nice hand position. And again, because I have something tactile, something tangible to hold on to, that's gonna remind the kids to always get their hand on the tape. That's what I tell them in the class as well. I'll go hand on the tape horns, or sometimes I even say tape, and then they fix it right away. Just like when I say elbows, they get their elbow away. It's been a fantastic little trick that I learned to get that tape into the bell for your beginners. If you haven't done it yet, try it. And I think you'll see pretty good results of getting your horns with better hand position in their bell. Hope you enjoy that.